to In My Mug, episode 345 on the 29th of June. I didn't do the 349 like I normally do. Welcome to In My Mug. This week's a little bit different. We haven't done a blend for a long time. These two don't talk. We did. So Stafford is having a cycling event on the 3rd and 4th of July. Thanks for the beeping in the background there. That's the organiser of the said event, and these two guys are participating in it. So can you tell the people at home a little bit about who you are and kind of like how many gold medals you might have and like that, or how many races you might have won and stuff? So start with you, Andy.
So I'm Andy Tennant, world and European champion. I win the odd bike race every now and again, but generally just mess around with coffee and drink Steve's coffee.
He's a bit of a big deal, this guy. Like part of Team GB.
Yeah, Team GB. So on the Olympics in London and Rio, bound. So yeah, I'm all right every now and again.
And I'm Liam Holohan. I haven't got any gold medals like Andy. Focus mainly on the road. Ride for Madison Genesis, a British-based team, internationally and domestically.
Liam's playing himself down a little bit there too, because he's a bit of a legend in the cycling. Like, you go up to men in Lycra, they get excited by these two. Like, they really, really do. And it's a real big honour to have you here. And you're both customers and you're both into your coffee. So before I kind of go on to what we're going to be doing in a bit, tell me why cycling and coffee go so well together.
Well, my cycling sort of coffee relationship started when I lived in Italy for 3 years. Caffeine was banned as a stimulant to start with in cycling until Coca-Cola sponsored the Olympics and the Tour de France. Then the ban sort of got lifted a little bit and you're allowed 2 cans of Coke. But yeah, cycling obviously it's quite a good pick-me-up, releases a lot of endorphins, and yeah, it's sort of quite well renowned as a sort of stimulant that helps improve performance. So see all the weekend warriors going down and having coffees, and yeah, that's where it started for me. And yeah, my obsession's grown and it's cost me quite a bit of money so far, but luckily I don't have to pay for push bikes, so get spent on Slayer coffee machines, etc.
This man has a one-group Slayer in his kitchen, which he traded in for his one-group Spaziale, so like twin boiler Spaziale that he used to have as well. So Liam, tell us a little bit about kind of how coffee and cycling kind of works with you.
Yeah, well, I love going to the cafe. So I ride to the cafe, meet Andy, have a brew, and then ride home. And as a result, I've carved a career out of doing that. I had the machine that Andy had, the Spaziale S1 Mini, and what was the grinder called?
Malcona K30.
K30. So yeah.
Professional kit then.
Yeah, like that's our little hobby sort of thing. Like we bike for a living, so we don't spend our money on his bikes, so we spend it on our coffee. So. And
I think you get a lot of, as you say, I'm not going to call them weekend warriors because they might beat me up. You can get away with that one, but a lot of like the enthusiasts in biking, they will like have a destination of a cafe to kind of go out to as like the aiming point, isn't it? Have a coffee, then kind of come back. Where's a good cafe that if you're cycling you can kind of head to? Where do you guys kind of tend to hang out?
Anyone on the Has Been app is a good place to start, obviously.
Jeez, he's so good!
I know.
You've done so much sponsor work, haven't you?
No, sponsored dream, mate. Corporate dream. No, like, yeah, there's obviously a lot of cafes, and the sort of specialty coffee is grown within the coffee shops, you know. Obviously 10 years ago Costa, etc. would be, you know, the norm, whereas now everyone, there's a lot of sort of bike specific cafes, you know. Rafa, for example, one of my sponsors, has obviously quite a few which are, you know, renowned for their sort of, they've linked the coffee and the cycling thing pretty well.
Yeah.
Obviously for us there's
Look
two.
Mom No Hands is another one that pops into my mind that I love going into there.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of really got that whole casual feel about it, but it's a bike shop with an espresso machine.
Exactly. And then for us, really, the local ones we go to is sort of the Shrewsbury Coffee House, or there's one in Ironbridge as well, which I can't remember the name of, which actually does Has Been as well.
86,
which does very nice food as well.
Yes.
So yeah, coffee's important, but cakes is also of, you know, importance. You know, you don't.
And you've got a few around, but like Manchester as well. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Is it Coffee Fix?
Yeah, Coffee Fix in Manchester, and Cook and Baker in Wilmslow, which is obviously where all the wags hang out. So it's. Yeah, obviously I'm engaged, so Lauren, I'm just hanging out in front of the boys, but it's full of attractive sights as well.
And Manchester seems to be kind of a place where, because of the velodrome, I'm guessing, and because like the British cycling are based there, aren't they, as well, in Manchester? Yeah. So there's quite a scene kind of started at the same time as cycling happened. So I'm thinking, like, places like Tack,
North
Tea Power. Where else is there around there that I'm
Grindsmiths on
Grindsmiths.
Square.
Exactly. So there's loads of really cool places there, and I just find this link with coffee and cycling it's weird. It really does. I mean, I remember during the Olympics, Sir Chris taking a picture of his espresso machine.
Yeah, that's right.
We put the back to has been on the top. That I was like retweeted the hell out of that.
I kept going that, did in London.
Yeah?
Yeah, every time we got a little gold bag through.
Yes.
And then had to go through customs essentially and get scanned and x-rayed and everything until we could get it. But yeah, no, Chris travelled everywhere with his Giotto rocket to Rio. And then Phil Hines, the guy I'm with who's living in my house, he's got a rocket as well, and he takes that everywhere. So yeah, I need to get something slightly more portable than the Slayer now to just travel around the world with me. Got a V60, but yeah, it doesn't seem to...
Aeropress is easier.
In the last year's tour, 2 years ago, because me and Andy were in the same team, we travelled around, and I brought the Aeropress, Andy brought the V60, and we had the pour over kettle going, didn't we? And
so you're Team Madison, aren't you? So that's where you used to be.
I'm Team Wiggins now, so yeah.
Rockabilly Big Boot too, with his mate Brad.
Yeah, well, Commonwealth Games, there's a picture of Brad wanted a coffee. Like I think I had an Aeropress with me, and he just sort of won the Tour de France the year before, and there's a picture of him grinding his own coffee, because I was like, well, if you're going to want one, I ain't grinding it for you.
Well, so it's weird you should say that, but shortly afterwards he ended up buying an Aeropress and a whole heap of kit.
Because I directed him to you, he was like, right, this is what I want.
I like it. So what we're going to do today is, for this... Sorry, Paul gets upset if I don't regularly hold this up and go, I wholeheartedly endorse this product or thing. But for the cycling festival, we're going to create a blend, and you guys have very kindly come in, because I'm sick of creating blends. I have to do it all the time. So you guys are going to create it. So to build a blend, we need a few things in there, and what kind of things do you look for in an espresso? So like, is it sweetness? Is it acidity? What do you tend to be your primary driver for a blend?
Sweetness is your base, I think, isn't it? And
then, it is.
That's where obviously your starting point, I imagine, and it's something that you're looking for. I drink a lot of single origins at home. Got the kick to do it, shall we say.
What coffees tend to be your favourites, Liam? I mean, what would you like? Are you an African kind of guy where you like that big acidity, complexity, or something like a central where you like sweetness? And
yeah, definitely. I think it's more of like an acidity one that I prefer. Like yesterday with the Shrewsbury Coffee House, and they have acidity.
They do.
I think it's their blend, and that's really like bright and fruity, and I quite enjoy something like that. Yeah.
So we're going to get something fruity. What we're also going to try and do is make a blend that works really well in espresso and in brew as well, so we're going to try and kind of cross it across the two, because not everybody's got a Slayer sitting at home.
But also for us for travelling, we obviously travel with Aeropresses, so for us it's essential. If you can get one that works in both, then it means that you can buy a couple of bags at a time and take it with you as well, so it's great.
So that's what we're definitely going to try and do. We've got 9 coffees that we're going to go and cup in now. 3 and 3, so 3 for that sweetness base that we talked about, 3 for the acidity that I think you're going to be going choosing the acidity one, and then we've got 3 that I think are really interesting, that are going to bring some kind of complexity to it, not necessarily all acidity or all sweetness, but interesting flavours. So you're going to choose them, we're going to pull some different shots of different percentages, and then we're going to come back in just a minute and taste them and come up with the descriptors for it.
Sounds good.
Cool. Right, so we're back, and we're going to try the espresso first of all, and then we'll explain what we've built. So, it's really sweet. First of all, I think and I love espresso that's sweet, but there's some kick in here. There's I'm getting a little bit of dark cherry. It's very kind of mouthfeel. It's very thick and glupeous and honey-like. And what are you guys thinking?
I love the acidity in it as well. I think that's what we talked about before. That's what I really like. I think it goes really well with summer as well.
Summery. See, we built it with an idea. So we've gone with 50% of the Finca La Cumbre, which is a farm in the Central Valley in Costa Rica. It's our second year of buying from La Cumbre. And it's the dried on raised beds one. So for those in the know, will know which one we're talking about. And we've gone 50% of this. And that is kind of to give us that thick candy floss sweetness, the stickiness, the mouthfeel. And I think that really comes through kind of quite well on there. And then we went with 30% of the Colombian Finca Buena Vista, which is the caramel, again, mouthfeel. You know, there's a really kind of high thing here, but like green apple and the green apple acidity. I don't think it necessarily comes through the blender's green apple, but there's an acidity there that's kind of much more citrusy and bright. And then 20% of the Finca Limoncillo Natural Funky Pacamara. Now, this one stood out on the table as a fun component to go in there, didn't it? And that's the cherry. And I think that's the dominant part of this, even though it's 20%. It really is that kind of cherry funkiness. So, save some space for the brewed version. So I've brewed a Chemex of it as well. So the name. I didn't come up with the name.
Okay.
We blame Paul for that one, who's standing behind the camera there. But wide-eyed and legless, why would this have a cycling connotation?
It's named after a book.
Okay.
What was the wide-eyed and legless? It was about the Halfords. Yeah, the Halfords team when they were at the Tour de France. So it's a play on words.
Okay.
With that book, yeah.
Yeah. So wide-eyed and legless is the blend name. Actually, in the Chemex, that funkiness has disappeared a little bit. It's much smoother and much more sweeter.
Definitely.
Not quite as in your face, is it?
You can smell the strawberries though.
Yeah.
Smell the old Eton mess, as I like to call it.
He came up with his own descriptor for the funky Pacamara, which I actually think he's bang on the money as well, because it is strawberries and cream, but it's got that whole black cherry thing going on in there as well, the Eton mess stuff. Which,
bit mashed up.
Yeah.
Definitely the candy floss as well. You really smell that.
So, Stafford Cycling Event. Endorse this product or thing. People can just come along to the town centre and watch it on the Friday night and see you guys racing. Are you also doing the Saturday as well?
Yeah, it should be. So there's a Kermesse on Saturday. I can't even remember what it's called now.
Sugar.
Yeah, Sugar Hall, that's the one, yeah. And then the crit's on the Friday night in the town centre. So it's an hour's crit, so you get to see us every lap. Probably is about a minute a lap normally, just over. So yeah. So we're looking at doing sort of 50 laps, so you see us quite a lot. It's the closest that you can sort of get to bike racing other than sort of track racing, a lot of road racing, you know.
I think it's a course. It's a course that looks like it could have occasional accidents on it.
Oh yeah, there's always pick your corner well. If it's wet, it'll be tremendous crashing, and that's what everyone likes to see.
Wow.
If I was watching a bike race, I always go for the most dangerous corner. Always go for a dangerous corner.
So, and I've also heard that the MC is going to be amazing. They've got a real top draw guy in to come and do all of the interviewing and the
Apparently it's bankrupted the event. Though.
Bankrupted the event. His fee was so high.
Undisclosed figure.
Undisclosed, yeah. But yeah, now I'm going to be asking all the stupid questions as you're going round and round in circles. So why are they going round in circles like that, and all the interesting ones? But it's going to be a good day. You can actually get involved, and people can go on the course beforehand as well and do races. So what's the website?
Rightstuffs.co.uk.
Rightstuffs.co.uk. So go take a look. Hope to see you there, guys. Thank you for helping make this blend.
Yeah.
It's been fun, and hopefully everybody enjoys it. I look forward to hearing feedback from you guys. But do remember, life is definitely too short for bad coffee, and too short to not go to good bike races.